We learned this week that many of the United States' hitherto most volubly dauntless, defiant, from my cold dead hands Second Amendment fundamentalists appeared to be in the grip of a rethink.
As Christie said, you cannot bring a firearm loaded with multiple magazines to any sort of protest that you want. It's that simple. You don't have that right to break the law.
We learned that among them was FBI Director for some reason, Kash Patel, who despite hailing from the wing of the Republican Party, which generally regards it as an intolerable encroachment upon the liberties of a free citizen to be told they can't take a grenade launcher to antenatal classes, had suddenly pivoted to gun control. And we learned that Patel was not alone.
You know, you can't have guns. You can't walk in with guns.
What about the Second Amendment?
Listen, you can't walk in with guns. You can't do that.
So we learned yet again of the undignified, if bleakly amusing, knots that people will tie themselves in when attempting to adjust reality to their beliefs, rather than the other way around. We learned that the startling reconsiderations of the right to bear arms had been prompted by one American citizen doing exactly that, as, like it or not, he was entirely entitled to do, at least until masked goons employed by the state decided that it was instead an offence meriting summary execution.
We are now learning that 2 officers fired during that fatal encounter with Alex Pretti this past Saturday, according to an initial report to Congress from the Department of Homeland Security.
We learned, as we often seem to from the American political discourse, that a given thing is absolutely fine when one side does it, absolutely insupportable if the other side does it, that any unfortunate consequences attendant upon the given thing are terrible and unjust when they befall one side, but no more or less than were deserved when visited upon the other side. We learned an additional lesson in this paradox from Congressman and idiot Randy Fine, representing the 6th District of... can you guess?
It's Florida, isn't it?
We will not be distributing prizes on this occasion, no. We learned, yes, that Congressman Fine was absolutely clear on who was to blame for a mercifully ineffectual assault on one of his colleagues, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar of the Minnesota 5th.
Well, I've got 2 thoughts. First, look, I want Ilhan Omar to be deported and denaturalized, but I don't want her to be attacked or hurt, and people shouldn't do this sort of thing. But I also blame Ilhan Omar for what happened.
From which logic, and to be honest, we're getting kind of confused ourselves at this point, we can learn, or at least infer, that it is the fault not of the producers, directors and editors involved with the film in question, but, probably, of George Soros-funded liberal conspirators that nobody wants to see this.
Together with like-minded leaders, we have a voice.
That being Melania's sensationally expensive cinematic hagiography of the US First Lady, though technically this president's third lady, which we learned had opened on this shore of the Atlantic at least, to the sort of attendances which at least offer those who do turn up spare seats for bags, hats, coats, an entire symphony orchestra. That kind of thing. We learned in researching the matter further that the British talent for droll euphemism remains in robust health, as a spokesperson for the UK cinema chain View, which has somehow been lumbered with this dud, described ticket sales as soft, which was indeed one way of acknowledging that the premiere screening had attracted precisely one punter. Aww. Maybe it was raining. Still, it wasn't all bad news. We learned that the subsequent screening had done twice as well. But we learned that where one US-based foreign artiste couldn't give it away, another was trying to. We learned that Neil Young, for it is he, had decided to do his bit to effect reconciliation between his adopted home, the United States, and the bewildered people of Greenland, who as recently as a week or so ago were laying in salted blubber and battening hatches in anticipation of hosting the Danish-American War of 2026. We learned that Young was offering Greenlanders, in the interests of, quote, peace and love, a year's free access to his vast digital archive, presumably so they can enjoy such hits as Heart of Cold, Rockin' in the Freeze World, Snow More, Everybody Knows This Is Narwhal, Walrust Never Sleeps, Only Love Can Break Your Harpoon. Are those anything?
Boo!
No, you shut up. And we learned, because it is lamentably once again that time of January, that the friendless Poindexters at the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists were, as usual, absolutely itching to wheel out their silly big clock and tell us precisely how doomed we all are. And we learned that we are more doomed than ever, which, when you think about it, is by definition true. The world won't last forever. Am I right? Anyway, we learned as usual that these forlorn dweebs don't half take themselves seriously, which is more than any girls ever have.
So the deliberations of the Science and Security Board that set the Doomsday Clock every year are pretty intense.
Go on then, hit it.
Every second counts, and we are running out of time. It is a hard truth, but this is our reality. It is now 85 seconds to midnight. This is the closest the world has ever been to midnight.
Happy New Year to you too, nerds. For Monocle Radio, I'm Andrew Mueller.